Hi, saying someone clipped me. I wasn't able to finish what I was saying, but we do. We sometimes we give up. We give up a fast. We give up on a lot of things. We're trying to pick it back up. We're trying to pick up that, I guess you call it tenacity. Like back in the old days, they fought until they got what they want. Oh, and then I heard. I'm skipping two things because let me say this one first. I heard what was Harriet Tubman went to a downright criminal. But I heard that after I saw he tried to pin on me gang fights that was around. That was our gang fight. And it was actually his. What I saw is he was combating himself. He would throw something like it was another person, and then he'd throw someone to combat it. He'd throw out a crime, and he'd throw someone to combat it. And so, I don't know, that was a crime against my mother-in-law. I've never seen it, but it was a crime was they were attacked, and he hit me with that one. He said she did that. She called him over there to attack the family, and I didn't have anything to do with it. I wasn't even aware of it, and so he started putting stuff out that was him. He had done it, and then he came back and he defended himself. He threw the violence. So he put gangs on me. I had gang charges on me because of I don't know. He had what you call that? Burglary, because of what the folks were doing, and that was on me. Um, and it stuck. Yeah, Jeremiah is a good kid. Oh, well, I'll tell you something else that I saw in speaking of Jeremiah. I don't know why that just dropped in my spirit. Jeremiah's a good kid. But what dropped in my spirit, too, oh, wow, then it just went out. Oh, the courts. We were talking about the courts and the 10 years for pointing a gun at a white man. That actually happened, and I actually emailed it to the police officer, right? I said, but then someone said, well, you don't know that he was a part of it, because this person's kind of close. And he was a part of opposition, so whatever. But what I saw when this happened last night, and this is before the dream, y'all, when they take, after I did what I did, after I emailed a friend and I said, you mean to tell me he gets 10 years for that? Thank you. Um, what I saw was when the courts can't get you to do your 4 years, I saw his mama. I lay back on the bed after I emailed, and I saw his mama worried, okay, who they're going to give the other remaining if they were to lessen the time, because he had already done 2 years. He's already put about 2 years in. Now he said he's innocent, and I, as I told my friend, they set you up in court and they feel like they know that you're guilty. A lot of times they use the cameras, but I believe he's innocent. And sometimes you go in for someone else, whatever it may be, but they will try to give you the maximum sometimes for whatever reason, right? And if you get off on the figures they have in your head, because like if he actually would have shot the white man, he probably would have gotten the death penalty for one white man, right? Just like the guy that got the death penalty for killing one police officer, and you got people killing black police officers all over the place, and we never finding out who's doing it, right? Or Mexican police. I'm not being racist, but come on, when you hear me say that, remember I'm an African American woman, so there is racism out there. And then when you get offended, when you're well aware that there's racism out there, and you get offended because we stand up for it, then you're just as racist as this one. You might as well agree with the wrong. You might as well just come forward and say, yes, I'm racist too. Because it's not derogatory against all whites. But in this situation, society is built to be unfair to certain nationality. That's why we're called the minority. Now, we got a lot of stuff going on too. But you know that the judicial system was set up for Caucasian because it is a white government. There's government now. Let me say, because we got a black president that's half white, half black. But listen, we know that even in some areas they have black slaves. Even Mexicans, they find black slaves. And let me tell you something else I saw about Mexico. Mexico is not keeping those slaves. They're using the ones that whoever's across this water, because I kept seeing they go through Mexico. The channel to slavery in other parts of the world is to go through Mexico. Now, you got another system over in the Middle East, how they take their own because they don't like them. Like the other day, We laughed because of the CPS lady that came out to the house was a Mexican girl. She reported the white police officer. She said he was discriminatory, but she was illegally out at the house, right? What made her angry is that she saw me. This white man ain't gonna come up against you like that with racism. She was offended because she said he was. Now he said he was helping me. He just didn't want my mom to be out talking loud outside because that's what was in the police report. I know I made that comment. It's a humility thing. It's a trick of the enemy to do humility because I'm all that. That's what they say. You know, you're supposed to be a celebrity. And we down home folks. We're not used to, you would never believe one of your family members had made it, you know? And so, but the Mexican girl was offended because the police officer was white. So she defended me. She did. When they investigated her, she said it was him that was, because she was out there for the wrong reasons. So what am I saying? I sound like to say that we have our own nationalities within the darker color complexion society that can't stand one another. Somebody say Cubans, and I think Cubans, oh, I love Cubans. Oh, wow, I saw these Cubans. They get sexy. To me, Cubans are one of the most romantic men. I love them. I love them. I love Cubans. Oh, wow, I see them on TV, and they, oh, listen, but I've never had one, okay? Because they said they're also hot-headed. They're mean. Anyway. Cubans are not supposed to like African Americans, although, you know, yeah. And then you have Mexico. And then you have, what's that across the water? Afghanistan people. I forgot what they're called. I want to say Muslim, I can't think of. But they don't like African Americans, right? And so within our own society, we will rob one another. And if there's enough money involved, especially with those folks that are right here in our home, there's African Americans who get a white mind. Really, they get too solidified to touch their own. And they have their excuses. Oh, that's why I don't like my people, because they, you know, and Mexicans do it too. We even within our own nationality, we look down on, we don't have true love, especially when we don't have understanding, we don't have compassion, we put our nose up in the air. I hate the way they beg, I hate the way they are, you know, I just stay away, like that's going to make you look different. You're still going to be black. You can stay away from them all you want and act all you want, and I don't even call it acting white anymore. I hate when folks say black folks acting white, because we can get a little dignified. There's nothing wrong with being dignified. You know, it's nothing wrong with a little bit of pride. The pride, not the pride as is ugly, because pride is an ugly word. To have pride, you know, is you reject everything. But I'm saying a little humility. Humility is contradicting pride. But it's okay to have a little dignity in who you are, you know. That's what keeps us clean. That's what keeps us straight. I don't want to be caught in that. I don't want to be seen doing that. That's okay. But when we take it and we start looking down on other folks, oh, they make us look bad. That's the situation they're in. How could you help it? That means you're missing something. If you can't get down there and help that person, and then sometimes you're not supposed to help it, but you cannot put your finger on it. If you can't help it, because maybe it will pull you down. And then some things will balance you. Some of you need a balance because you'll do it within your own nationality. Yeah. And so I say all that to say that I did see the slaves, because they were grabbed. They're not Mexicans. Some of them have gotten so snooty as to where they would grab the kind they hate, although they're considered or hated the same way, and put them around. And our channel in America was through Mexico. And Mexico would take the ones they don't want, and they would send the rest over there. And I don't know if it was Russia, but it was that back way going to waters of California. Is that the Pacific Ocean? I think that's the Pacific going through California way. That water and whatever's up in there is where slaves are going. That's what the Lord showed me. Yeah, and so the slavery is that the government being racist is there, although right there on the surface, because this is 2013, on the surface you're going to see a straight government, always. But what's in the crevices is what we need to be aware of, and that's what we've been fighting, and that's been racism, and there is racism. Now, we also have government that hire their own, which are black and Mexican and all the other, and they are racist against white. You're talking about the system. We have people falling that are Caucasian because of the opening of not being racist. You know, we have Caucasian falling, but can they fall in this society? Can we allow a white girl to fall and give her some assistance? Oh. And then someone told me, well, I don't think they pick up their own. Well, they're going to carry their own. They're going to put their own in houses. That's the way we all think, that somebody is coming after us. because of what had happened. Until we keep an open mind that, hey, this person needs help. And if you have it out there, come on, if you're going to do budget cut in that area, you have to do it openly, because then you risk chance for people to be favoritize. You having budget cuts, you cutting folks' benefits, you put it out there. And let me tell you something about benefits, y'all. The reason we get offended because you taxed us higher to do so. So that's not your money, government. That is the people's money. So you cannot look at us and rob us because of the color of our skin or because you just want to, well, we don't need them on. Somebody was started like that. We don't need all these people on benefits. Don't give them all. That's within the company. That's within the organization, and they can't do that. They cannot, without going through, on the natural, without going through government, Senate, and legislature, they cannot just pick up a rule that we're going to give you half your benefits. And then they showed me this. It's coming down, but they were taking half to put it in a house that could not come into the system. They didn't know the new way that illegal immigrants was being taken care of by American money. There's a new way that they put them right in the system, and no one is aware of it. But the old way is to cut your benefits, or vice versa. But to cut your benefits and give it to some home, they holding the same credit card you have. They would give them a duplication of what belongs to you so they can use it. Amen. Amen. And so we have to be aware that there is racism. And so when I told him about him getting 10 years for pointing a gun at a white man, and we know that crimes, I got a friend that I started with, and I know his brothers are on Facebook, so please, it's just weird that they come from good homes. You can't tell me that they live in a project. Man, they live right down the street from us, and they've gone to jail. Why is it that they went to jail? You can almost see criminals. Criminals sometimes are spoiled kids that lack, because sometimes we lack and we give to our kids in abundance through our lack. And those children get so used to it, but they're not left an inheritance. They have nothing to walk on. They have nothing to stimulate them. So they began to get into gang to fit in. They began to rob, because they want to continue to keep that. They're spoiled, and they go out and commit crimes that they should not commit. And so especially male child, that's what men feel like, as men is getting out in the street and making a living for their family. And some of them are raised in home where there's a mom and a dad, and they're still doing more crimes out there than anything. They're not taught education because their families gave them stability for whatever reason. If it was just a little minor job, yet the man found a home. So he wants to make a home for his family, but he didn't have what his father had in him.